Okay, so as stated earlier, um, today is October the 29th at 4 p.m. Today we're just talking about and celebrating Head Start awareness. Our objective today is to kind of talk about the First Thoughtful Thursday, which is the first initiative that we're doing for Head Start Awareness Month. And each Thursday coming the following week, we're going to have a different topic that focuses on family wellness and family well-being. And if I hadn't said it earlier, my name is Loretta Miller, if you couldn't hear me earlier. And so today we're going to talk about ways that you and your family can participate and benefit from participating in Head Start. We have a personal success story that's going to be coming forth by Sapresha Grinstead, a past Head Start parent. Also, Ms. LaWanda Tatum is going to be sharing some parenting tips. We're going to have Nathaniel Miller to come and give some good tips on counseling and mental health wellness. And he has a pretty extensive background in psychology. And then the Honorable Rufus Tyler is going to come and talk about why the importance of voting. So we want to celebrate today Charlie Capel, the chairman of our board of directors at the Improvement Association. Mr. Tyler is the executive director, and I'm also as the director for Head Start. We are providing services in all of those areas that you see there before you. Our Head Start, what is Head Start? Head Start is a federal funded program focused on serving income eligible families from the ages of 3 to 5 years old and assisting them with school readiness skills, and also through comprehensive services. So Head Start focuses on the whole family, the whole family, and focuses on helping families with physicals and dentals, with an array of services. Our Head Start Center serves has 15 classrooms and serves through the capacity of 228 children. This year, we have enrolled 175. So if you know a family who has a child that's eligible for Head Start, make sure that you encourage them to apply. Head Start actually started in 1965, and I'm kind of speeding along because we lost a little bit of time, guys. But we're so excited about what Head Start offers to children and families that are a part of the system. We know that with education and the early education levels, our parents are able to go back to school because it's free services at no charge. Our children begin to recognize letters by the end of the year at an enormous rate and understanding language and literacy and math. And then also we understand that children perform better in cognitive and social emotional measures. So Head Start Awareness Month started on October the 22nd, 1982, with President Ronald Reagan as he proclaimed October to be Head Start Awareness Month. And since then, Head Start teachers, parents, and alumni have been engaging in meaningful activities to commemorate the impact of Head Start on our nation's children. And so here, we just had a short video clip that I wanted to share here about how our children learn. And Head Start really prides itself on having children to learn through play. So this is one of our centers here that just had the children outside, and they were kind of doing an activity called Jump and Freeze. Okay. So I wanted to share that short, fun clip with you guys. And now we're going to have Sapresha Grinstead, who's had 2 sons, to go through the program to kind of just quickly come and share a personal success story. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can kind of see each other and hear him on her, what she has to say. And so I'm going to invite Sapresha to come and just speak at this time.
Thank you. And hello, everybody. I just wanted to come and share my personal story from the program. I have 2 boys, like she said, that went through the program. And I feel like the program helped a lot, especially with my older son before my younger son was born, helped him to socialize. Also, started preparing the foundation, I think, for getting them prepared for elementary school, in like the, recognizing letters and things like that. And it helped me personally by giving me a mental break and allowing me, to ease off and not have to focus so much on teaching as much, because I knew they would get, exactly what they needed from the Head Start program. And also it helped to accelerate their learning, although they were in daycare, but I feel like the Head Start program really helped with their learning as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sapresha. We appreciate you so much.
No problem.
And her children, thank you. We appreciate her. Her children were in the Dinwiddie Head Start Center, and so we were happy and excited to have them to be a part of the program, and the continued success that their family will experience is so greatly appreciated. And so from there, I'm going to get back to the PowerPoint. We're going to have some parenting tips that Miss LaWanda Tatum is going to share. She's our parents as teacher supervisor, a parent advocate, and a parent curriculum expert. I look up to her very much, and what tips that she's able to provide to parent educators as they are doing home visiting and home education for parents as they provide services to their children. And so at this time, I'm going to invite LaWanda Tatum to come and kind of share some tips that she has for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to come and share with you guys. Of course, I am also an honorary Head Start staff. I made myself that because I love Head Start. But the tips that I wanted to give today, they're very simple, very general tips. The first tip is, when you're working with your children, it is okay, parents, to put yourself in timeout. What I mean by that is, it is okay to step away from the situation for a few minutes, count to 10, and then begin to deal with the undesired behavior. We don't want to call it negative behavior. It's an undesired behavior. So you step away, count to 10, take a few deep breaths, and then deal with the situation. Because we respond much better when we think things through. Because when we are at our angriest, we make our worst decisions with our children sometimes. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to be consistent with your discipline of your child. Be consistent. If it's a school day and they need to be sitting before the computer, paying attention or doing something, make sure that's done every day. Be consistent with what you tell them. If a behavior is not okay today, then it's not okay tomorrow either. So make sure you make whatever it is your child is doing, make it important, but also be consistent to let them know that we may not be able to do this at this time because it is school time, but after school time, we can do X, Y, and Z, or we can't do this because of. Let them know why. You're telling them that why they can't do it, but always be consistent with what you tell your child. Third thing is, this is a crazy time for all of us. And your 3 or 4-year-old understands that as well. So make sure you just stop and enjoy the moment. Be present in the moment. Everything can get a little bit overwhelming, from technology working to not working to just, things being a little bit stressful at this time. But be present in the moment. Enjoy the moment. And even when you are seeing some of those challenging behaviors, some of those undesired behaviors, take a moment, pull yourself together, and then deal with it. But just be present in the moment. It's very, very important. Our kids learn from us. And remember, you are your child's first and best teacher. And you must take care of yourself, because it is very difficult to pour from an empty cup. Those are my 3 tips. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tatum. You did an awesome job, and we really appreciate what you had to share for us today regarding those handling those challenging behaviors, because it can be a bit much at times. So we're so thankful. Thank you for that. Okay, and now we're gonna transition with you, and we're gonna transition back to the PowerPoint, and we're gonna have Nathaniel Miller to come and give us some words of encouragement just for resiliency. He has a bachelor's of the science degree in psychology, a master's degree in forensic psychology. He was a past Head Start student. He works as a community counselor with the Foundation for Care, who's also a community partner with us. And he's my big brother, and I'm so excited to have and introduce him to come and kind of speak with you guys today and just kind of give some words of encouragement for resiliency. Okay, so if you would come at this time.
Okay, greetings everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. If not, just let me know. But I'm so glad to be able to be with you again. For those who do remember, I know I was with you, I believe, last year or something like that. As Miss Loretta Miller has already stated, I know that we are. It reminds me of church because because the truth is that I was far spent. Y'all know what that means. So I'm gonna try my very best to move along really quickly. So forgive me if I leave out anything, but I think the main thing that I would like to say to hit on is actually to follow with what was just stated by, I believe it was Miss LaWanda, and that is the self-care of the parents, of all of us. As a matter of fact, all of you are very essential when it comes to working with our children. It really is. They are literally our future. And so a lot of our future is actually in your hands. And so what that means is, to piggyback off of what Miss LaWanda just stated, my experience has been this: when the parents are treating themselves with proper self-care, mentally and even physically, it has a direct effect on the kids mentally and emotionally. So I would say to not repeat what Ms. LaWanda said, but let me just restate it. Be impeccable with your word. Because life is very different from the last time we saw each other. We all know that. This is not, as I told the church, we're not in the snow day. This is, we have to learn how to deal with where we are. And it is possible. We've been through changes before, but nothing is impossible. And we can do it if we do it together. Be impeccable with your word, with your children. And when I say that is, because most of us are now, we are pretty much with your children on a more regular basis, for those who are at home. And as she said, it can be stressful. It can really, really be stressful. But one of the things is, when I said be impeccable with your word, stick to what it is that you guys put in place, and allow your child. That's one thing I would tell any parent, is to not be afraid to allow your child in on the process of building that behavior reward system or things like that, so that they know that it's not mom or pop being mean to you. This is what we agreed to, and we start working with that. It will also give them a stake in their own future, and so it allows them to feel like they are not just being told, just do what I told you to do, because all of that makes the environment and the living environment more stressful. It's going to be stressful for the parents, it's going to be stressful for the child, and certainly those who are who are charged with that child is giving them education and being with them, babysitters and such. And so be impeccable with that word. Hold them to it. Be prepared to hold them to account, and you hold yourself to account as well. And then also the other thing I would say is always remember this. When you say be impeccable with your word, I also say to piggyback off of Ms. LaWanda in this route, and that is very simple, as important part for me. I'm jumping around here, but I think this is the most important. We want to be very, very careful with our words in how we respond to them, because kids are very sensitive. They may not have all of the big words to respond, to tell you how they feel, but your children, we know them. We know when they feel pain. We know when they're upset, when they're hurt, or when they feel, yes, they do go through, believe it or not, they do have depressed moments, and so all of this, remember, all of us are learning to cope with it. And so when I say that is, make sure that when you respond to them, as Mr. Wanda said, you make sure that they know that they're receiving the best of who you are. And, and they should, you're their first line of defense. We are the ones that love us the most. And so sometimes we may not realize it, but we do more damage than we, by responding right away to the behavior. And we won't overlook it. And sometimes you won't see it for a while. And so again, that creates a lot of stress in the home. And so, and it makes the communication with the child really, really more difficult. And so be impeccable with your word, and make sure that you, as she said, put yourself in timeout. If you don't have anything to give them, it's like running on the car. You can go sit in the car, but if it's on E, you knew it was on E before you got in there. All you're going to do, you can put that key in there if you want to, but it's not going to move until you put something else in it. Take time for yourself as well, as much as you can. Everybody's life is different. So you do the best that you can with what you have, but reach out. You're not by yourself. You are not by yourself. As Ms. Loretta said, you have teachers in your life, and you have some of us, if you have your religious organizations that you ascribe to, reach out to your brothers and sisters. Don't try to do things all the way on your own. And we're here, and we are a brother's keeper. And so I think that's pretty much. There's so much more that we could say, but I'm going to let it go now. And I hope that I can be with you at another time. God bless you, and good to be able to be with you all again. Thank you, Ms. Loretta.
All right, thank you. We are so grateful to have you give some words of encouragement, and we appreciate you so much, Nathaniel. And from here, guys, I'm kind of moving quickly. We're going to have the Honorable Rufus Tyler to come. He's the Executive Director of the Improvement Association and a member of the Sussex County Board of Supervisors. And I will have him to unmute himself at this time and share on the importance of why voting matters. And from there, we'll dismiss. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you, Mr. Miller, and staff for coming with those innovative ideas just to communicate on a variety of subjects that will not only help our parents and family, but help us as well to identify how we may better meet the needs of our families and children in our region. Of course, I just want to very briefly talk about why you should vote. It was amazing that up until this year, the number of NBA players and NFL players who did not vote until this year. Then they took on the issue of realizing how important their vote really is in this election. I dare not tell you who to vote for. That's not my role, but I would like to mention 5 brief things why one should vote. Number one, in terms of women minorities, at one point you could not vote. Number two, there was a time when people literally died just for your right to vote. So why should we vote? Election have consequences. You have the power to decide on the quality of life for yourself and future generations. What you see right now is basically somebody made a decision on what the quality of life would be in our communities. Let me give you an example in Chesapeake County. A lot of people love to move to Chesapeake County. Years ago, I was talking to the chair of the board of supervisors, and he said, an idea came to mind. And said, well, you know, all this money was available. Some locales didn't apply for it, but they decided to just get the money and run the water and sewer lines everywhere. Hence, as time progressed, when business looked for an area to locate, they looked for areas that had infrastructure, water and sewer there. Obviously, they came, the quality of life improved there, employment improved, the revenue improved, the school improved because they could pay teachers more, and etc. So affect yourself and future generation. Now, voting is your chance to stand up on issues that you care about, like transportation, funding for Head Start, funding for your school, police reform. It amazed me the other day, last week, I informed staff of it. There was an issue coming up on our board of supervisors, whether they should reform police practices. And believe it or not, a resolution was put on the table to keep things as it is, despite you see all the people being killed in the streets, people going to the home shooting females, etc. I took the position at the board of supervisors that there need to be police and social justice reform. Would you believe, and I met for the first time, there was a minister from First Baptist Church in Jarrah, Dr. Edwards, stood up and said, we need police reform. Dr. Mays from First Baptist, we need police reform. Sonia Perrin from Waverly, we need police reform. Mr. Ricks with our staff, we need, and several other people. But despite all that was said, this board voted to keep things the way they are now, stating that we need to make sure we keep our police officers. Well, and my position is, if a police officer go in my house right now and shoot my child, on eminent qualified immunity, I can't sue him. You can try to sue the county, but I can't sue the individual. We believe there has to be police reform. Voting can make a difference in the consequences. Now, not voting, it gives up your voice. It gives up your voice. Elections are decided by people who go out and vote. People who stay at home, you're giving up your voice to somebody else to make your decision. Suppose I came to your house and you're about to cook. I said, nah, you're not gonna eat this today. 5 people, 3 of us decide you're gonna eat this for the remainder of the week. You don't like that too well. No? Voting are the same thing. It determines what your destiny would be. It determines what the quality of life would be, determine what kind of job you have in your community, determine how much of recreation you have, and etc. Don't give up your voice. It's your money. That's another reason why you vote. It's your money. You pay taxes, but do you know how that money is being used? Someone charged me at the board of supervisors, say, said, well, low to moderate income people don't pay a lot of taxes. Rich folks pay taxes. And I charged them. I said, no. What's the real estate rate? It's where real estate on house and land is 58 cents per 100 value. Okay. What is the personal property rate? That's $4.58. $4.50 on a car. But people are laying in houses, the wealthy folks, only 58 cents per 100. So you tell me who paying the majority of the taxes. Of course, I was successful in getting to understand that. It's your money. Your money determines funding for healthcare. Your money determines how much is going to social service and recreation. And finally, voting is an opportunity for you to give a positive impact on what goes in your community. What goes with me? Evil people excel when good folks fail to act. I've always said that. And the last thing is your children is depending on you. That's my conclusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tyler. We appreciate you so much, and
Likewise.
all of the input. Yes, all of the input that you have to give to us in terms of why voting matters. A lot of that stuff I actually wasn't aware of, and so I'm grateful that you were able to share that and break it down just like you know how to do best. So we know that's one of our. Yes, sir. We know that's one of your passions. So at this point, guys, in the hour spent, I do apologize for all the technology glitches. Well, it's not an hour, but we were trying to do a half an hour brief session, and we hope that by next week we got all the glitches out. So I'm gonna kind of go back to our PowerPoint, and hopefully everybody does their part and vote next week. Here is some contact information for me, and hopefully you guys can kind of see this on the screen. If you have any questions, I'm going to encourage people to follow me on Facebook. I'm going to start adding more information to my Facebook account at Loretta Miller Head Start, so that way we can kind of see what new things we have. And if people want to ask questions or have topics that they want us to discuss, you guys can email me, or you can feel free to unmute yourselves now at this point and ask any questions that you might have. And we're going to do a dismiss. I'll probably send out this PowerPoint. Well, actually, we're going to upload it to YouTube so that we can share it with other families that we're not able to get on. And hopefully that'll be available by tomorrow afternoon. So are there any questions at this point for us that anybody has? Okay. Kind of scanning, and I'm going to peek at the chat box. If not, I'm going to dismiss us at 4:40. And great job, everybody. Thank you so much for your participation. And the first Thoughtful Thursday, and we'll keep it going. See you next week then.
Good day, everybody.
Bye. Good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.